Career Connect Module 4 project presented by Taryn Voltz. My name is Taryn Voltz, and I've worked in leadership roles for over 10 years. Most recently, I am a program manager for a quality program that our company offers. And in the past, I've been a contact center manager. Uh, I have been a project manager, and I have conducted training and quality, a little bit of everything in the healthcare world. I think the thing that would set me apart from other applicants is one, my work experience. Um, like I said, I've done a little bit of everything, and so I think real world experience says a lot and adds a lot to your value. I'm also a quick learner. I have the ability to understand systems and processes fairly quickly and apply them to the role that I'm in. I'm also an out-of-the-box thinker. I always like to look for efficiencies and opportunities that we can make in our day-to-day operations. And, um, you know, I'm not afraid to get creative with that. I believe the biggest professional weakness I have is that I'm too hard on myself. I expect perfection out of everything that I do. And while that may not seem like a bad thing because it isn't, I have a lot of pride and integrity in all of the work that I do. Sometimes when the project or the task I'm doing does not go as planned, I take that really hard and I can internalize it. But what arises out of that weakness is even bigger, better work. So after I've processed my feelings and processed what I can do to resolve the issue or the barrier that I've come up against, I I can then apply it to that task and make the project even greater. I believe I show grit in the workplace every day. Some days more than others, obviously. Everyone has their peaks and valleys. But a specific example would be when I'd first joined the company, and what I found is that the culture was to utilize overtime to maintain our workload. And what I came up against is that I had tired, worn out, withdrawn employees who weren't even able to perform at their best during their regular schedule because they were so tired. They were just burnt out. And then, of course, the expectation from me or for me was that I had to ensure that these employees were working overtime. Otherwise, we were going to miss our deadlines and we were not going to get the work done in the time frame that we needed to. Um, and from upper management, it seemed that mindset was okay, that this is just how it is. So what I did was I sat down, I did all the numbers and figures, I set out a plan um, to better to better counteract our workload on a daily basis. So instead of responding to the pure numbers that were in our queues, what I suggested is that we look at turnaround times. So we would work with a gap at a minimum of 3 days before the case or the authorizations that we were doing were due to be completed. And what that did was allow us to manage our workload on a daily basis, identify how many people we would truly need to complete that work, reduce the amount of overtime that we were requiring of our employees. Um, and then in turn, that had a positive effect on the morale within our office because the employees were not as tired. Some employees love working off of overtime, others do not. They thrive off of being able to come to work, go home, and spend time with their family or whatever it is that they do as part of their life that fulfills their life. And when you take that away from them and prevent them from being able to do it, they resent you for it. And that's what I wanted to turn around, and that's what we were able to do. So I always see myself working in the healthcare field. I really enjoy it. I have a passion for it. It's fast paced, and I enjoy that about the work. I always like to be busy. Regardless of whether or not it's 5, 10, or 20 years, in my position, I hope that I'm just in a role where I can affect change, where I can make a difference, whether that's making a difference on my employees, my peers, the, the company that I work for, their clients and customers. It doesn't matter. I want to be able to always provide opportunities for improvement and improve, whether that's through process efficiencies, experience with with our company, whatever it is. I just want to be able to make an impact. So this situation I don't really have to imagine because I have experienced it in my real life. I have been promoted within my company and dealt with repercussions of from colleagues who had also applied for the position and did not get it, as well as moving from a non-management role into a management role where the individuals that I worked with every day became my subordinates. So the one thing that I really believe in from day one is setting boundaries. I enjoy working with the people that I work with, but I want to make sure I have a professional relationship with them. I'm not there necessarily to make friends. That doesn't mean that I don't think that they're great people. It's just I have boundaries that I will not cross. That helps in the situation where you are being promoted, especially when it comes to a non-leadership role to a leadership role. The other thing is that I try to include my colleagues, especially the ones that were passed over on a position I was promoted for, into projects that I'm doing that exhibit their strengths. I want them to know that I see their strengths, I appreciate their strengths, and I want them to utilize them. I think that helps to um, kind of get rid of some of the tension that could be there. As well as I just try to communicate with them, whether it's a colleague, a coworker, or a now a subordinate. Just communicate them and let them know I'm still the same person, and regardless of my title, I'm here to be a team player. I find it difficult to work with individuals that have little to no work ethic or team mentality, and individuals who believe to make it, you have to kiss up to your leadership. I believe that your character is shown through your work. If your work is done with integrity, with the best of intentions, um, and to the best of your ability, that's who you are, and that's going to be shown to your leadership. That's what's going to be appreciated. And being able to dedicate yourself not just to your own individual goals, but to the team goals, work as a whole to reach the goals. Because really, if we fail, if one of us fails, we all fail. But if we succeed, we all succeed. And then, of course, kissing up to management as a leader, I don't like it. That's not what I want to see. I want to see who you are through the work that you do and the way that you interact with the team. Um, what I find myself doing is encouraging those behaviors from team members that I've worked with in the past in order to counteract it. The reality of it is we're not always going to like everyone that we work with, but we have to find a way to work with them. And so I just try to remain positive and try to encourage them through my actions, um, and try to set that type of culture within my team as a whole. The first thing I do is make sure that my body language is not showing my emotions. I want to make sure that it is indicating to the people that I am conversating with that I am open, that I am not being aggressive, and that I'm listening. The next thing is if that conversation is just becoming too argumentative and it's not healthy at that time to continue the conversation, end it. End it, give the individuals who are involved time to breathe, kind of think through their emotions and their thoughts, and then we can come back. That could be in a few hours or it could even be next day. You'll have to kind of see how that situation is playing out. The other thing is make sure you're listening. Um, There are a lot of times where when you're having these conversations and the and it becomes a argument, people will put a wall up, and that can be really bad. You want to make sure that you're really listening to what they're saying and fully understanding what the issue is. And then, of course, from there, I do what I can to resolve the situation. And that applies no matter if I'm talking to an employee, a coworker, a client, a customer, it doesn't matter. I do what I can to resolve the situation. When it comes to the resolution, I do what is consistent because I don't want it to seem as though I am playing favorites. So I do what's consistent and what is best in that situation. So I've always been someone who is motivated by goals and deadlines, specific metrics that we are supposed to meet either as a team or as an individual. I enjoy that. That's really what motivates me, and I'm the type of person that doesn't want to just meet it. I want to exceed the expectation. I also enjoy having the ability to affect change, being a part of project teams, and being able to make a difference in the company or with the employees or with our customers, just the business in general. I enjoy that, and I feel a sense of pride in being included in that. And then, of course, seeing the success of my team and my program is a big inspiration and motivator to me. I love teaching my team everything that I know and seeing them grow from learning that information. And then, of course, seeing us as a team meet and grow our program together. That's always inspirational. So the things that I like most about my current role is the autonomy that I have and the challenge of it. I was given a program that was not performing well. It was not meeting the client's expectations. And so the challenge for me was to identify where our opportunities were and correct them and begin to meet the client's expectations and even exceed those expectations. And then from there, grow the program so that it was generating more revenue. That was very exciting for me because in the very beginning there was so much to learn and so much to change, and like I said before, I enjoy having an effect on the change that happens within the business. And we've done that. The program is thriving. The team is doing exceptionally well. And so it's hard for me to leave the company now because I've been with them for 10 years. They've done so much for me. They've given me so much opportunity. But at the same time, I feel like I'm now limited on my ability to grow within the company because I have done a little bit of everything with them over the years. So that's really what I'm looking for, an opportunity to continue to grow my skills and to learn more from another perspective, another company.